over here. Hello and welcome to Seeing Your Skeleton. I'm your host, Jaden Lyle Hilton, and today we're going to be talking with my friend. His name is Harmon, also known as Boost on Spotify, and he almost has 60,000 listeners per month, which is pretty awesome. This is a special episode, not only because it's the first one, but because I'm talking with my childhood friend. So there's a lot of things, even though we've known each other for several years, that we don't know about each other, and I figured that would be awesome. So happy to have you on, Harmon. I'm very excited for
Up,
this.
brother?
And yeah, um, how are you feeling today? Like, what's going on?
I'm feeling alright, bro. I can't complain, I'm not in the best mindset, but, not in the worst either. What about you?
Do you mind if I ask you some questions about what you just said?
No, I don't mind. You can ask.
Oh, I forgot to. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I wanted to ask you. You said that you're doing fine, and then you also said that you can't complain. But then you said that your mindset was off. So, uh, can you telling me what that means? Because it feels like I got an answer, but I don't necessarily know which part of it was true or false.
It's like, it's a good day in the sense that I'm here. It's a bad day in the sense that I feel like I could be doing more with my life, you know what I mean? And I'm kind of like, it's basically like a constant feeling, like, it's back to the fucking skeletons, whatever the fuck. It's like, bro, I have these, like, demons in my head, these, like, voices, this anxiety, this thing that always tells me that I'm never doing enough. And so, like, no matter how much of a good day I'm having, there's always like that voice in my head, in the back of my head. It's like I have this like void in my heart. So like I can be having the best day of my world, bro, but in the back of my mind I always have that part. I'll be like, yeah. And so like I don't know, part of it is like I'm not where I want to be in life yet. So it's hard for me to be happy. I mean, it's hard for me to like stay happy and stay present sometimes when I'm always like thinking about thinking about how to succeed in life and how to like become something, and you know how it is. Just it's like performance anxiety. It's like if I don't do enough, like I haven't been doing much today, like I've been kind of just like slacking off. So like I feel kind of like it's like, bro, I don't feel good anymore if I'm not like reaching my full potential on a daily basis. Like it'll make me depressed. So like, and I'm good in the sense that like I'm not dead, but like I'm, you know what I mean? And like you
I
said, it's like,
see.
oh, like 60,000 monthly listeners, this and that, but it's like, bro, there's just so much more work to do.
Yeah, yeah. That's. I'm not sure if that kind of a mindset is toxic. I know there's people who think so, but I think that when you're constantly thinking about how to improve, your life can follow suit, right? I
Yeah.
feel like everything starts to level up with you, and I do understand that stress a little bit. So I wanted to ask, how long have you felt this way? Like you're not doing enough, like you're not good enough, essentially.
My whole life, bro. Probably, it's like I don't think there's ever been like a moment where like I've been like fully like just proud of myself, or like I never felt like fulfilled to the max yet. Like I've always felt like a failure at some level. You know what I mean? Like I haven't reached that level of success where like in my head where I can like sit back and feel like I'm doing enough. So it's like, and yeah, and like it's like my mom still works a job and shit. So it's like until she's you know what I mean retired, I don't think I have the right to say that I'm doing enough. Along with like just you know
You mind if I just take a moment to think about
yeah.
that?
Go ahead, man. It's like
So you're saying that once I achieve these things, then I will feel better. Am I getting that right? You'll feel more fulfilled once you've hit some of your landmark.
yeah, but like I know how toxic, like I know that can be toxic too, like that type of mindset.
And why do you think that?
Cause bro, it's like you never appreciate what you have. You're never grateful for where you are. You're always like looking towards the future and like what you can be doing in the future, and you're never just like happy to like exist with whatever you have in the moment. Like you know what I mean? I just have I don't have that ability. Like I have this like endless void in my heart that always wants more. You know what I mean? It always wants, and it's
Interesting.
like I've tried like I've had periods of like heavy meditation and learning to be grateful and like learning to stay in the moment and stuff like that, and it definitely helps. But at the end of the day, like there's always that thing in the back of my head.
Okay.
where it's just like it comes back from like childhood trauma and like feeling like I was never enough, you know?
So I feel like that's a good moment for maybe I'd like to ask you about your story and what you feel like started your journey to becoming who you are now, if you would be comfortable with sharing that.
Yeah, long story short, man, uh,
Oh,
I was a rape baby. So, like, my mom, she was forced into an arranged marriage when she was like 22 or 20, 21, 22 years old. My dad was like 30, 31. He was from Canada. Like, he had everything made. Like, his family had money and everything. But, like, he's basically a degen. And long story short, his parents just found some girl in India that would find some, like, poor girl from India that has no life, no future. And, like, basically just, like, get her married to my dad in a form, like, get him like a servant to like take care of him. Like basically, my mom was more like a second mother to my dad than anything. And so like he kind of got forced into the whole marriage thing. She wasn't, she didn't even really know what she was doing. She wasn't ready to have sex and nothing, but she kind of got forced into the whole situation. Before she even got to India, she was already pregnant with me. So by the time we got to Canada, like I was born, so that like in a way I was conceived in India and born in Canada. So like once me and my mom came to Canada, the abuse with my dad got started like from a young age. Like I have like flashbacks of like my mom's head being put through walls and like seeing her with black eyes and just seeing my dad just be a drunk piece of shit 24/7 and just like never work a job, never do anything, but always like looking towards his like his like wife and son to like how they're not doing enough for him. So like, it just became this like endless cycle of trying to like please my dad and make him proud, but then like always coming short. And then like just like trying to make them proud. I grew up thinking that like maybe one day if I became successful enough that like all the money in the world would like make my dad stop hitting my mom, and that like maybe if I became successful enough that like my dad would like be proud of me and like he would change his ways and stuff like that. And then like eventually it just never happened and it just kept getting worse and worse. So you know, years went on from like a young kid. I've been depressed since I was like born basically. Like I used to be a mute baby, like I used to never cry or like anything. I used to just like sit there type shit. And like video games was like the first escape I got from reality when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Like like I had this PS2 that my mom bought me, and that was like my escape. Like if like life at home was really bad, I could like hop on that motherfucker and just like escape from my reality and act like and pretend to be in a different place. And so like I think that's where like a lot of my escapism started, and that escapism has followed me into my adulthood and like probably like amplified itself to like new levels that I never knew existed. And then so like I don't know, you could say up to like 10 years old, the abuse and shit. I mean, it was all the same. We lived in Toronto. I used to be like in Brampton and shit. And then like I don't know, you could say around 13, 14 years old, I met you and like the other motherfuckers. Like we all like linked up around that age. Y'all were like my second like escape from my reality at home was like hanging out with y'all. Like y'all like cured my depression in a lot of ways. Like I didn't feel depressed when I was with y'all, but it was like the feeling of going home always like like haunted me is like that feeling of going home and like you don't know what your dad's gonna say, you don't know what the new issue is gonna be today because there's always like a problem. Like when you live in a household where like you live with a narcissistic like individual, it's like this like you're living in a black hole that endlessly just wants more and it's always just sucking in everything around it and like draining the fucking light and energy from everything around it. And yeah, man, that shit kept going until I was like around 14, 15 when I started to like step up and like try to defend my mom and like protect her a bit. And that led to me being the new target for the abuse and like everything, which was fine to me. I didn't really care that I was the target as long as my mom wasn't the one being abused anymore. So that started this like whole other phase, and like so then I had y'all, but then I had my homies. I had Jaden. I had the other couple of individuals that I'm not really cool with anymore, but like they were homies back then. And like we all like we had that moment like for a few years back in like middle school towards high school where like like we all had that little friend group where we could escape to no matter how life was going on at home. Like I had that place to like just escape with my homies. And then when I became like 15 years old, to 16, like first year, grade 9, going into grade 10. My dad had this crazy idea to move to fucking Winnipeg, and my whole life got turned upside down because the few escapes I had from my reality, being my friends and being able to play games with my friends online when I was at home, was the only thing keeping me sane at the time. And then when I moved away and I lost those things, I went back into like a really deep depression for like a few years, and kind of stayed like that. The abuse was the same at home. Everything was kind of just whatever. I was still taking the shit, but like trying to protect my mom along the way. But then we moved to like this rural area in Winnipeg. It was like country where like we didn't really have neighbors like that. So like my dad would make this like twisted joke about like how nobody would hear us scream at night anymore because we were so far away from people. And it ended up becoming a
What
fucking
the hell?
twisted reality where yeah, nobody could hear us scream at night, bro. And it got really bad to the point where he tried to kill my mom when I was sleeping. And like my mom was so scared to tell me what happened. She never even told me for like a few years. Like she acted like nothing happened that night.
Wow.
And then yeah, when I moved to Winnipeg, I met my older brother. Like he wasn't like really family to me, but I see him as family. His name was Devin. He was like my older bro. He's like my dad's best friend's son, and we both related on the fact that we both knew our dads were pieces of shit, and like there's nothing we can do about it. But we were stuck in the situation together. The only difference was he was like rich, and like I was kind of poor. But like we both had the same piece of shit dads with the same mindset. Like they grew up together type shit. So like one of them just ended up being successful by basically taking advantage of everybody he could, and the other one kind of failed in the same process of doing the same thing. So like my dad failed, he then my bro's friend like succeeded, and so he became successful, and so like they had their life all figured out. And like me and Devin, like bro, we didn't fuck with any of the shit going on. Like families were like sneaking each other back and forth just for like the just for financial gain, you know, just like doing whatever they could. And so after I left like Winnipeg, or sorry, after I left Toronto and like I left all you guys behind, and like we kind of started like becoming more distant. Like I had my older bro, like he was the one who was keeping me sane at the time. Like you know, he like took me out of depression. You know, funny enough, he's the one I smoked weed with for the first time, and I don't regret doing it because before I smoked weed, bro, I was like chronically depressed, and after I did it, like it was like kind of a psychedelic experience in the sense that I was looking at my life in a third person for the first time, and I could just like see things from a different perspective, and it was the first time that I could genuinely be happy for the first time, and that's where kind of where like my addiction started. Well, not exactly. It kind of goes further. Like so, 17 years old around there, like my brother got murdered. I was in Toronto hanging out with y'all. We were like fucking vibing and shit, and then I got a call that fucking my bro he got like into a fight with like a bunch of dudes. He went to go help his friends out, and his friends kind of like pussied out and like ran and left him there to fend for himself. And the dudes like ran him over with the car because he was like a 6'7", like 300 pound, like he was a beast. Like you couldn't really fuck with him. So like they hopped in a car and they fucking hit him with it, and he fucking banged his head off the concrete. Bro was in a coma for like months. He finally like recovered. He was kind of making a comeback, and then like a year later, like he had a seizure in his bed and died. And then I basically like I was there the day he died. Like I was driving by his house and all I saw was fire trucks because we live like a block away from each other. So like when uh when I was driving by his house, all I saw was actually it's more complicated. I was racing. I was doing my daily toge run. Like I used to do toge runs like mountain racing. Like we used to live along like a river with like a whole lot of bendy roads. So I would do my daily like race down the road, and I ended up getting caught by a cop, and the cop like pulled me over, but instead of like coming to talk to me, he pulled me over and then he turned around and he left. And then I was really confused as to why he let me go. So I turned around and followed him because I saw a bunch of fire trucks down the street where my brother was living, and I got the worst feeling in the world, bro. As soon as I started to like put the pieces together, I got to his house and like yeah, he was dead. And yeah, after that shit happened, bro, like I was completely empty, bro. I had nobody left. I had nothing to live for. I didn't have anything. I like y'all weren't really fucking with me back then, and like my bro just died, and like shit, I had nobody to turn to, so I just started smoking a lot and like trying to cope with the pain. So I just became like a functioning stoner after that. So like I still be going to work, I still be going to the gym and shit, but I'd be smoking along the way just to like keep my mind straight. And that's kind of how I went for a while until like and like along that time, my mom was still living with my dad, and the shit with us was still going on. all the time. Cops were coming every other day, type shit. Like it was pretty bad. Till eventually, like I finally just told my mom, I was like, "Yo, mom, just go, just get the fuck out, like just leave, just go live your life." And she finally listened to me and she left. And I told her to go, and I'll stay back and deal with him for a while until you can get your shit figured out, and I can just keep him distracted and shit while you go do your thing. So she left, and I stayed with my dad and shit for like a few more years. And this is around the same time that Chris had come to live with me in Winnipeg. Like my dad, like he had to go to India. Basically, he was taking advantage of my grandpa, who had a bunch of land back home, and he was basically like using him to get to the money and the land that he had. So basically, my dad went to India to go fight for money and shit. Same old family greed shit. And then while he was gone, COVID happened, and he was stuck there for like over a year. And then fucking Chris was messaging me. Chris is the dude that came live with me. Fucking he was messaging me complaining about his mom, saying that he didn't really like the situation he was in with his mom. So I felt really bad for him. I was like, "Yo, bro, like I'm living alone right now in Winnipeg. Like if you want, you can like come stay with me. Like I won't charge you no rent. I just need some help with some food and shit like that, and utilities." And like that was it. And like so bro came through, and like I did everything I could to like make sure homies were good, because I had this like really big people pleasing issue where like I just, because of my father and because of like my like childhood, like I had this issue with like constantly needing to try to make people happy. And like if I couldn't make them happy and they started to like feel any type of way, I would like feel bad about it. So like I went on this journey to like please my friends, and like just like I just wanted to spread love, so I didn't want to charge them nothing. I really did was just trying to live life. I just helped my bro out, and bro said, "Oh, I need to lose my virginity." I was like, "All right, bro, I got you." I got caught up with like some fucking strippers and shit that like almost ruined my life, because like I wanted to help this kid out, help him lose his virginity. Like that shit all went down, and then I was dealing with these strippers. I ended up doing OnlyFans for like a year. Like I was like
Oh,
fucking bitches on
yo, wait,
OnlyFans.
wait, wait.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, bro.
Yo, I didn't. What?
Yeah, so like the strippers I was fucking with, like they fuck with me because I always used to be a street racer and I used to do stunt driving, and like I always posted videos and shit, and like they fuck with my car. There's some gold diggers at the end of the day, but at the time I was too naive to realize it. So um they were fucking with me, like they fuck with me, they fucked with like the shit I was on. And like Chris was kind of just like, I don't know, I guess he was just getting jealous. I don't know what it was, but he started building this like resentment for me. And through it all, like I put myself on the line, like I helped him lose his virginity. Like that dude really got laid because of me. And like after all that, like yeah, I ended up doing the OnlyFans thing because like money was tight. This is during COVID. Like all we had was stimulus checks, and like shit, bro, you had to just do what you could do. So like I had these girls and they were doing OnlyFans, and like they needed me to like make videos with them. And I was like, all right, well fuck it. My face wasn't in any of them. It was just like the POV shit. But like yeah, I did all that shit, but those bitches almost ruined my life. Like this is the first time I ever did cocaine, was with them, like fucking strippers and shit. Like I never did it again after that. But like that's how bad the influence around me was at that time. Was like, bro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then from there, like I finally got away from those girls. And then I still had this motherfucker, my homie, in my ear, like almost every night. Like he'd find some new bitch on Tinder. He's like, "Oh, Boost, like we gotta go fucking like this." So I'm like, fucking, it's like 1 in the morning. I'm hopping in the Beamer to fucking drive this dude to go pick up some 300-pound bitch just because he's horny. And along the lines, I lost respect for him. I don't know what happened with him, but yeah. Then he left, right? And like, well, I gave him a phone. He broke my phone, didn't tell me about it. I let him live with me and my mom. Fucking we moved out to my mom's house after my dad came back, so like fucking he was staying with us there. Bro was like, bro, he was living good out here, so like whenever he left, I don't know, like he just like decided he wanted to leave. I guess he was talking to some dudes in like some like native reserve. He's talking to some other homies who I guess like didn't fuck with me or something. And then like once he left, he just like completely changed on me, bro. Like when he got on the plane, like we were hugging and like saying I love you, bro. Like I'll text you when you get back. And then like when he landed, I got a message from our other homie, right? And he messaged me saying that Chris, I told you all a bunch of shit about me, and like they were really disappointed in me for all the things I had done, and that y'all didn't want to fuck with me no more. And that kind of hurt me a lot too, cause like I just wasted a bunch of time trying to like help my homie out get his life together. And I thought we were good, and then the moment he gets back, he like tells everybody all this shit about me, and I'm just sitting there like shit. I'm confused, but there's nothing I could do about it. So I just whatever, man. I talked to you about it. That's the only person I could talk to about it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So I just wanted to talk about that moment a little
yeah.
bit
Let's talk about it.
because you got a message from someone saying like this person is not fucking with you anymore, not gonna talk with you anymore, blah blah. My name was thrown in there, but I'm not sure if you know where I was and where my mental was and how I wasn't talking to anybody at
Yeah,
the
no, I
time.
talked to you about that. Yeah. So yeah, they had spoken on all the homies' names. They're like, yeah, we're not fucking with you no more. And I was like, hey man, it is what it is. But at the same time, I knew you like you don't stay in the mix anyways. You're not worried about this stuff. So it was whatever. It was kind of just whatever. It's kind of like that was a moment in my life where where I had to like let go of the old version of myself and like move it towards a new, better version of myself because the person I used to be was a piece of shit. Like even growing up, I used to be a dickhead. I used to be a bully. I used to be all that stupid shit. You know what I mean? I used to be a dickhead. All of the fucking thing. You call me anything. Back then, I was it all. You know what I mean? I was a fucking asshole. But like after all that shit happened, bro, and like my brother dying and like my homies like saying that shit to me and all that stuff, like my dad and everything is just like I just came to a moment in my life where I was like, bro, like the way I've been living is just not it, and I don't want to live this way anymore. And then like that was like the beginning of like my like change forward, and it's like
And that's how you became an artist,
that's how I
essentially.
became an artist. That's how I made 6 figures in crypto. That's how I did a lot of shit. After Chris left, like that's when I really started making money in crypto. Like I like was spending 18 hours a day like studying markets and like studying graphs. Like I'm at the point where like, it's not just limited to crypto. Like I can look at any graph and I can tell you what's going to happen in the next hour, in the next 24 hours, in the next year. Like I'm able to like read graphs and make predictions, like very well educated predictions based on indicators and everything that can like essentially predict the future, bro.
Damn, we got a psychic out here. That's pretty sick.
Bro,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
You want to say
so
something?
yeah, I mean like that was like the moment I started like really changing my life for the better. Like that was the moment it took a turn. Like I started sobering up off all the drugs I was taking. I quit everything. I was not even smoking weed or nothing. And then like yeah, I started doing the crypto shit first, and then once I started making money with that, I like really took a step back, and I was sitting there, and I was just thinking, bro, is like, money isn't everything, and the question to me was like, what would you do if money wasn't a thing? If money wasn't an object in the world, and you were rich, and like money wasn't a thing, what would you do for the rest of your life for free? Like, what would you do for free without being paid for it? You know what I mean? What's your passion? Like, what do you really care about in this world? You know what I mean? What is your, like the one thing that you truly love that you would do for free? And when you find that one thing, bro, that's it. You gotta go for it, you know?
Yeah,
And it's
that's how
like,
I feel about this podcast. To be honest, just being able to talk and hear and listen and honestly discover a lot of things about you. Like we've known each other for a while, but the truth is there was a lot of things that I wish I got to ask you. I wish I got to talk to you about. It's just my
yeah,
mental
yeah.
like for the past while has not been
You
good
can't. It's hard
up
to worry about
until very
anybody else
recently.
when you're not good yourself. So that's part of it. Is like for me to become this artist that can help the world, for you to become anybody that can help the world, whatever you want to do, right? You have to become the person that you have to become the role model. You got to become your own superhero. Like that's who Boost is to me. Like I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Like after that shit with like the old homies and like Chris and everything is like, bro, I I like really killed the person I used to be. Like Harmon in my mind, bro, isn't really a real person anymore. Like he doesn't essentially exist in my mind. I know he exists as to other people, but I essentially had killed off the old version of myself and created Boost. And once I created Boost, I left everything else behind, and that included all my toxic habits and anything else I used to do. And so it's like this alter ego I created, like because the thing was I was having issues being my true self while still being attached to my physical identity. So when I fully detached from who I thought I was and just fully embodied who I wanted to become, that's when I started like really making big strides forward. And like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
That's a little bit more like abstract artist shit, but
No, no, it's great. I actually want to know more about that. So music has become your outlet
yeah.
now. You're doing well on Spotify. You're growing continuously, which is amazing. I can't lie. Like I've always wanted to do music, and it's something that I have done. It's just I've never released anything because I don't have.
Yeah,
Well,
bro.
at least I did not have. the confidence. But yeah, it's very inspiring. I want to know what you feel when you make music. Why is it something that you feel like you need to do? Why is it your
It's a
calling
it's
now?
a it's an escape. It's an outlet. Like the way I see music is energy, and music is emotion. Music is all that stuff. Music is energy in motion, right? So it's like music is a waveform. Music is like a wavelength, right? When you listen to music, it invokes a feeling into you, whether it's a high wavelength or a low wavelength. Like even emotions and light and like sounds and like shit are all colors. You know what I mean? Like spectrum wavelengths at some levels. So it's like what I do with that music, bro, is I really like it's called like what's the word? Ranting, or like what's the word, like just like really spilling my heart out, like letting my emotions out, like letting out whatever's in my heart, whatever I'm feeling in that moment, I let it out on the track, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, whether it's happiness, whether it's just, you know, contentness, whether it's euphoria, whether it's like just I'm high on dopamine, I just want to say some ignorant shit. You know, it's music is emotion, so like it's more about like invoking a feeling in your art, in your audience. So like a lot of the music I make is for people that are like going through hard times, or they're going through a struggle, or they're like doing a hard task, or they're in the gym, or they're doing something that's like straining. And like the type of music I make is like super aggressive and like resilient, like because like what I want people to feel when they listen to my music is I want them to feel like a fucking monster. Like I want you to feel like when you listen to my music you can take over the fucking world. Like I don't and that's just what it is. Like, and sometimes I make music that I want people to feel like a certain emotion, like love or like sadness or happiness. Like I make like songs for the club where I just want people to have a good time and just have fun. Then I make music where it's just fully focused on like the pure raw aggression, and then you know what I mean. And so that's how I see it. Music is like it's an emotion, and as an artist, it's your duty to help people feel something, because a lot of people sometimes like their music is also an escape for people. Like the way I have my escapes, people also have their own escapes, and like a lot of people use music for that escape. But yeah, so like that's how I see music, bro. It's an escape from reality in a way, and it's a way for people to express things that they wouldn't normally be able to express. That's why you could find like the most like innocent, like innocent, most pure, like you know, like soft person in the world listening to like heavy metal music, like the most like deathcore, like you know, like most aggressive type of metal possible, because it like it scratches an itch in their mind that they normally wouldn't be able to scratch without it. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
music, like I know how you talk about working out without music. Like I can understand that mindset, but it's not something that I personally would be able to do, because for me, music is like I'm connected to my music at a high level. So when I listen to my music, it is meditation to me. Like the music puts me in a meditative state, instead of like how some people say that it like takes them out. Like the music for me like helps me like go into a trance state. It helps me like feel like I use it as a tool. Like you know what I mean, you can like listen to a song, like say you're in the gym and you're like not feeling the best, but you put on this like hype song, and like now you got this like energy boost you needed to like get through the workout. You know what I mean?
So when listening to you speak about that, um, I definitely understand that perspective of like energizing, and I don't know if you fully understand my perspective on.
I've never talked to you about music. Like the you know what's crazy, bro, is I always like was
Mm.
the biggest fan of music growing up, and like it was always one of my biggest things. I'd always like be in the group chat showing y'all new music that I would find and stuff, right? And it was like I always used to envy you guys, man, like that y'all knew how to make music, and like y'all knew how to play the piano and stuff like that. And I always looked at it like it was like this alien technology that I would never be able to understand. You know what I mean? And like
Mm.
it wasn't until I let go of a lot of fears that I had in my head related to like my family and everything, like that I was able to like, you know, take a chance. Because it's that fear in my head that was holding me back.
Okay.
But yeah, bro,
I
like I want to hear about your opinion on music and like how you feel about it, because like I said, bro, I envy y'all in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Um so with me, I feel like escapism, I'm afraid of it. Essentially, I'm super afraid of escapism, and I'm super afraid of the feeling of me personally losing out on creativity. And it's just a perspective, because I understand that some people draw creativity through music, and they produce things that are reminiscent and or transformative of other music that's around them.
Facts.
But for me, when I think about escapism, I'm like, yo, like I want to have the most clear head to see what Jaden without anything else is thinking and able to create. And I'm very curious what exists there. And I'm not going to say that I'm free of influence. Of course, I'm influenced. I've listened to music, watched movies, done all that for many years. My question for you on that topic is, you mentioned about escapism before. Do you think that it's a healthy thing for people to be able to realities, or do you think that people should constantly be focused on them? I feel like that
I
kind of
think I think
encapsulates.
reality is a very it can be a very physical thing. Like a lot of people look at reality as a physical thing, like what you see outside of the world. But there's a thing about like an inner reality too inside of your mind, you know. And it's like that. That's the yin and yang in the world. Is like the exterior is the yin, the light, and the interior inside your mind where it's put pitch black. That's the dark. And it's like focusing too much on the exterior reality can lead you to like actually neglecting your inner reality too much. You know what I mean? So like you gotta have that balance of the two. Sorry, what was the question again? I was saying something. I
No, that's
forgot.
okay. I was essentially asking you if you think that escapism
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
is
Yeah,
necessary.
so I think there are toxic forms of escapism, and I think there are healthy forms of escapism. Like, for example, going on a run, I think that's a positive form of escapism, or going to the gym, it's another positive form of escapism, or like making a song, or writing in your journal, or like writing a story, or any type of like creative outlet where you can like let that shit out. I think is a positive form of escapism, and like a negative form of escapism would be something like alcohol, video games, drugs, sex. You know. So I think there's positive ways to escape reality, and there's negative ways to escape it. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're escaping. It could just mean you're going to a different form of reality and chilling in that form, like meditating. Like if you ever just close your eyes and breathe.
Oh, are you
Yeah.
asking me? Or? Yes, I've been trying to do more meditation now since I've noticed, like mentally, I didn't realize how many issues I had until very, very recently, and I'm blessed for the situations that I've been put in. Um, and I do agree to some extent where having some ability to escape is not bad. It's just a huge fear of mine. So it's definitely a personal bias that I have towards
No, I actually
wanting to
respect
be
the
able
way
to.
you live because the thing is, I'm on me and you right now, Jaden. Like me and you are on opposite spectrums. Like I'm still smoking weed. I'm still indulging in escapism on like fairly high levels, but you know what I mean. Whereas you're on the other side of the spectrum where like you're too scared to like indulge in anything. You know what I mean? And so toxic when it's overused, when it's abused. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not that you have to like be scared of escaping. It's more that you just have to understand that some level of escapism can be healthy for like you know what I mean, like because sometimes there's no alternative. I mean, maybe you found some, but the thing is like it can also be positive for your health just to like exercise that inner child in you that wants to just have fun and play for a little while. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't always have to be a bad thing. It's just more about not getting addicted to the escapism to the point where you're not facing your reality anymore. You know what I mean? But there's a thing with me where I know for a fact I have an addictive personality through my bloodline and my lineage, and so it just comes down to this point where like if I ever try to escape with a toxic, like if I ever try to escape with like something toxic like video games or like marijuana, which I do right now, like I'll get into it far too deep. You know what I mean? And it can be hard for me to get back out. And on the opposite side is like when I get fully into the into the gym and fitness, I'm addicted to those things. Those are actually good type of addictions to have. You know what I mean? And the thing is, like, you have to define escapism because like escapism is different for everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Somebody's escapism could be just going to the gym. You know what I mean? And that doesn't have to be a negative form.
So you mentioned how you feel about marijuana right now. How are you dealing with that? With
It's more like I'm fighting skeletons from my past, bro. I'm fighting demons from my past. It's like I told you about my life. It's like I'm like, and when I was going through that shit, I needed the weed to like just to like shut my brain down for a little while and just like stop thinking about everything. But like now I'm at a point where like I'm doing really well, but I still have this habit from my past. It's lingering type shit. You know what I mean? And it doesn't even have the same effects on me as it used to. Like before, it used to calm me down and make me like mellow me out and like shit like that. But like now it causes like extreme anxiety and like uneasiness, and like even though I do get like a level of dopamine and euphoria from the overall high, it's like it makes my mind a fucking like hell space to be in. Like my demon, like basically when I smoke weed, it's like all my skeletons are like amplified times 100. Whereas when I'm sober, it's like all way easier to control it, but then it's just like this weird like addictive. Like it's like this void in my heart, bro. That's what I've been trying to fill this entire time. My entire life is this void in my heart, like just trying to fill this like constant empty feeling in my heart, you know. And so like that's what music is for me. Is it was a way for me to like fill that void without needing to indulge in these things. And that's like the biggest strides I ever made in music was when I was actually sober for like the most like at the start of 2023. I was like sober for 4 or 5 months, and I never felt better in my life. I was never in better shape than I was back then. And then I fell back off when I started smoking again. So like basically I'm at a point right now where like marijuana was the thing that saved me from my depression when I was a kid, when I was 16, 17 with my brother. But it's the same thing that saved me that's now killing
Do
me.
you ever think you'll be able to quit?
The thing is, bro, I'm just being a pussy, bro. At the end of the day, I'm just a fucking bitch, bro. Because at the end of the day, this is nothing hard to fucking quit, bro. At the end of the day, I'm just like, you know what? You just gotta be a man about shit sometimes and just like fucking, you know what, man? Because it's not hard to quit. It's really just the withdrawals that come with being attached to the substance. Once you can like fight through those, like first few days, it's easy. I've quit multiple times. The issue is staying on that path. Because the thing, what can happen is you can be doing so good that it's like the almost the opposite effect. Where like in the past you used it when you were feeling bad, but now life is going so good, so you almost want to celebrate. And then when you celebrate that one moment, you like start getting complacent with life and start thinking that you've done it all and you've had it all, and it starts making you comfortable with your reality. When in reality, you actually have way more work to do, and that's the thing with it. It gives you this false sense of success because you get this like it's down to dopamine in science. It's like when you smoke, you get like an easy hit of dopamine, but it's like you get like an easy rise out of it. Like you'll have like a really high, like a really high upslope, but then like the down phase is even worse. Like so, basically, like you ended in this like period where like the highs are high, but the lows keep getting lower. So like when you're not smoking, you feel even worse than you did when you were sober. But like when you're smoking, you eventually don't get as high as you used to either. So then you just end up in this situation where like you're not feeling good, but you're not feeling good at all, but you're not feeling bad. So you're stuck in this like weird void, and that's where the anxiety can like really get you, is because like you're just like kind of is a term that I use called spinning your tires. It's like you're hitting the gas, but you're not going anywhere. You're just doing a burnout in one place. You know what I mean? Not making any real progress. You're just burning yourself out.
So, what? How do you feel after you finished smoking weed? Do you feel worse? I mean,
After I smoke, like initially, like when I smoke, what do I feel?
yeah.
It's a so it's a level of euphoria. Like it starts out as like a really high, like you just feel really good. You get like a really high dopamine rush. It's like it's hard to explain it. It's like a physical feeling of euphoria. Like you get like a body high, like shit like that. But then the thing is, you get like the initial smoke is always good. But then the thing is, bro, it's like an endless void. Once you start the one, bro, it never ends. You always gotta keep smoking to keep it up. You know what I mean? So it's like this like imaginary gas tank of dopamine that needs to be forever filled up on like an hourly to 2 hour basis once you start it. And that's the addictive part of my mind that just keeps me on it. But yeah, like the anxiety comes with it, but the issue is like the alternative is dealing with the withdrawals, which nobody wants to do because they suck. Like not being able to eat, not being able to sleep, like shit like that. The issue for me was I became a functioning stoner, right? So I needed the weed to function. So like even if I had a job, bro, I'd be smoking before work type shit. You know what I mean? Just to like get the day started. So that's what it was. It became like a part of my daily routine, like drinking a coffee or like drinking water or like you know what I mean.
What was it that made you go back to weed? You said that you were sober for quite some time.
The funny thing is, the thing that made me go back to weed was thinking that I was above it now, that I could moderate it now. That like now that I had like been sober for these amount of months, that I thought that was able to control myself like better. But then the thing is, as soon as you smoke, you go back into that mindset of like, oh, like I can still smoke and get everything done, like it's not holding me back. But then like before you know it, a few days go by and then you're back in that same hole that you were when you started. So it's like it gives you a false sense of like hope in the beginning, and then it kind of like comes crumbling down later. But the thing is, like, weed is super big in hip hop and like the just the industry I'm in. So like that was part of it. Like I had really bad influences growing up, just the artists I listened to and all that type of shit. You know, you can't call them bad. Like I'll be real. Like okay, weed isn't a bad thing, bro. Weed is like I said, all good things are great until you overuse them and they become poisonous. It's like weed is a great tool if you use it in moderation, and you only use it like maybe like once a year. Like it's like psychedelics. Like you probably heard about the research they're doing on psychedelics. Like weed is a entry level psychedelic. So like it has psychedelic effects. It actually it can have benefits, but the thing is when you take it past that one time smoke where you like get the benefits of it and then you stop, when you start making it a daily thing, you start like not being able to face your own reality. Like you start living in a false sense of reality that you made up with the plant. But the thing is, like throughout it all, you're not essentially like ever like out of your mind or crazy or anything. Like you're fully in your head. It's just like you subtly just start thinking differently without noticing it. You're still fully like conscious. You know what I mean? It's just like it's a different type of consciousness.
Was there a specific time that you noticed that smoking weed was a problem for you?
Yeah, man. When I was like sober for the first few months this year, like bro, like I mean, it wasn't even the first time this year. Like I've had multiple periods of like quitting for a couple months, and like every single time, like my workouts in the gym would go through the roof. Like I'd just gain strength automatically. I'd have more endurance, more just like more just like to give, more energy, more everything, more alert, more fucking clear, more focused on my goals, more um like more into my music. I had more energy when I was recording. Like I was able to actually like give it my all instead of like when I'm smoking and recording. Like I kind of am like in this like 50% state where I'm not giving it my all, but I'm not like, you know what I mean? It's like this like weed gives you this. Weed just like holds back your potential, bro. It's the way it is. It's just like essentially think of like smoking weed as like essentially like taking off like 25% of your like max potential and like just putting it in reserve. So that's really why I'm quitting.
Oh,
It's not that, bro. I love weed. It's my favorite. Like I'll always love weed. I'm never gonna fully quit. If I'm with the homies and a motherfucker offer me a blunt, I'ma hit that shit. But like on a daily basis, like it's just not something I can do no more. It holds me back in
yeah.
that way. You know what I mean? It's like you can have a fucking couple drinks at a wedding party or something. That type of thing won't hold you back. The issue is when you start like when the issue is if you know yourself well enough and you know that you're gonna like that feeling of being drunk or being high so much that you're not gonna be able to stop after, then you gotta like know yourself. And like I'm gonna be real, me and you have that same thing. It's like when we used to play video games, like when you find that one thing that you know, that one fix, that one thing that really hits the spot, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Injustice, bro. Injustice was a time
Yeah,
of our
bro. We used to
lives.
sit on
I'm telling you.
Injustice for 12 hours a day in training mode, nonetheless, where the match would never end. We would decide who won the fight based on who was getting their ass kicked the most.
Yo.
And bro, we actually like stopped talking to each other multiple times because of these type of games, bro. We would get super into it, you know.
Yeah, I
Remember
can
DFO,
specifically
bro? We
recall this
fucking
one
like
night.
stopped talking for months because of that shit.
DFO, but I remember remember when we used to play PlayStation All
Oh my
Stars
god,
on
bro, that was
dude,
pure toxic, bro.
yo, let me tell my story real quick,
Go ahead.
bro. Okay, like so me and Harmon, like for the past couple of years, have been really competitive with like anything that we do. Like if we get to compete directly against each other. Um, so there's this one video game on PlayStation Vita called PlayStation All Stars. It's a fighting game, and me and him love fighting games. And basically, what happens is one night we're playing with me, him, and Chris, someone we actually mentioned earlier. And I think Chris goes to sleep, but then me and Harmon are still playing. And Harmon got really good over one day, and then he started kicking my ass.
Yeah, the
And then
Dante
he's like, "Oh
combo.
man," yeah. He's like, "Oh man, like I gotta go to sleep." And I'm like, "Nah, bro, we're running this. Like we're gonna run this until I get a win. All right." Like I was so excited when I finally beat him, but it was very clear that Harmon was just like, "I'm just trying to go to bed right now." But yeah, a little story for y'all.
Oh man, good
Um,
times. Remember the fucking
yeah,
like Super Smash Bros parties we used to have?
yep,
Fuck,
I do.
those used to be crazy too.
So I want to ask a little bit more about you. I'm going to start asking a little bit more uncomfortable questions gradually.
I don't mind.
Um, yeah, no, that's all right. I wanted to ask you what you think of your father.
That's a bitch ass lame man, hoe ass lame man, bitch ass. Yeah, that's who I think he is. Fucking fuck that, fuck that
No,
dude.
no, like
He's
actually,
a okay.
like what?
He's essentially me, except he didn't he didn't work through his traumas and he didn't fight against his vices and his addictions. He's essentially me and him are very similar in our nature, our personalities, and everything. Is the one thing that kind of haunts me is the fact that like I'm more similar to the one dude that I hate the most, you know. And the thing is, he's basically just like a version of me who had the same things happen to him that happened to me. It's just he didn't deal with those issues the right way when he was younger, and he just got to a point where it was too late for him to change. I genuinely believe that deep down he was a good person. It's just like pain and trauma can do things to somebody, and you can go down to like any anime villain in the world. Like they all have their backstory where some shit happened to them, and now they want to kill everybody type shit. And
Yeah.
it's a tragic story. Like genuinely, I still love him, and I genuinely like I feel bad for the way shit went down. But the thing is like, and I know he regrets everything that he's done. It's just that he's. It's just like once you become a villain, sometimes there's things that you can't take back. If you want to, like, I don't know if you guys ever watched Attack on Titan in the final season. I'm gonna spoil it for you right now, but basically, Eren Yeager, he fucking destroys the world, bro.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I want to ask you about a little bit more about your
Can you hear me still?
being an artist.
Okay,
Yeah, I can hear you.
I turned it down a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when asking you about your artistry and things like that, I wanted to know why you chose an anime inspired influence for a lot of your things. Because I'm looking at a lot of your thumbnails and I see that,
Bro,
hey, there's
it's
a lot
you,
of
bro. It's
Tokyo
you.
Ghoul, etc., etc. Ooh,
It's
me?
you, bro. You're the one who showed me anime as a kid, bro. You're the one who put me on. Like, it's like I never used to be into anime like you guys were, but like the older I got, the more I got into like the shit that you were used to be into, Jaden. And like I used to be watching shows that you used to tell me to watch, and I used to just brush you off. And like I watched all these shows, and like it really like changed my life, bro. Like I really started to understand like why you loved anime the way you did, is because like there's a lot of like philosophy and like life lessons and just things you can learn from that shit, bro. And like on some real shit, bro. Like I resonate more with like fictional characters at this point than I do with my real life people. Like my biggest role models are actually like anime characters at this point. You know what I mean? And like people can call it cringy and whatever, but it's like, bro, I just like cool shit. I like cool looking like aesthetics, and like I'm just like that's just what it was. It's just like anime was something that I resonated with on a high level, and a lot of times I even be rapping about anime a lot. Like it's just like it's just part of who I am at this point, bro. Like the thing was like, yeah, I'm trying to like show people how to like do this anime shit on a cool level. Like I'm just trying to show people that you can still like all this geeky shit, still be into all this shit. It doesn't mean that you gotta be a, like you know what I mean. I'm trying to like kind of like break the fucking narrative. Although it's already been changing a lot. Like these days, anime is mainstream, but like I'm trying to make like music for y'all, bro. Like music for the anime, like music for kids that like, bro. Like I'm trying to like create a voice for people that never had a voice. Like I'm trying to make music for people that like drive cars, like people that never really like had somebody represent them before. So it's like that. It's more just like who I am at this point, bro. Like my influences and everything is like the type of shit I like. It's like anime is art, right? And I'm an artist, and so I just appreciate art. So it's like the things that are appealing to me and my aesthetic, the things that I like to look at, is the stuff that I'm gonna push, you know. And so that's just what it
So,
is. I'm not gonna try to be somebody I'm not. That's what
hmm,
it is. A lot of my music videos are gonna be
in
anime based too.
in terms of your perception of what you make, do you ever feel nervous? Do you wonder,
Yeah, 100%.
um, do people like this? If I send this to Jaden, is he going to like it? What is he going to think
Yeah,
about it?
man. That's
Um,
the only thing I
yeah.
ever think about a lot of times. But you gotta like learn to just stop caring, you know. Like for a long time, yeah, I was like that, and I used to like always ask everybody for opinions on my songs, and like especially when I first started and I was really making bad music, is like I was really not sure about it. But like the more you progress as an artist, the more you start to like trust yourself and like trust your own creative visions and like what you want to put out there, and like you stop making music for other people and you start making music for yourself, and that's when like you can like really get to that level where you can stop thinking about what other people are gonna think. But I do have that voice. I always have that voice. You just gotta learn to control it and not let it get too loud.
So if I said to you, there's some of your songs that I like and some of your songs that I don't like, what would that make you feel?
Right, bro. It doesn't make me feel anything because I make music for everybody. Every single song I make has a different vibe, different emotion. Not every song is for everybody, but every song is for me.
No, I see.
And so the thing is,
I really like
and the
that.
thing is, you want to find people that resonate with you and who you are. You don't want to try to like make music and try to fit in with the world. You want to make the world fit into what you believe in, and that's what I believe in.
That's awesome. I really like that. That's how you've developed that confidence to constantly put out your music
Yeah, and it
and
initially
say what
started
you
with
feel.
this idea that when you remove your identity from your art is when you can, or what in general, when you remove, when somebody is faceless, when somebody wears a mask, is when they can truly be who they want to be and who they truly are. Like when somebody doesn't have to worry about being judged and doesn't have to worry about anything, like, and it's anonymous and like they can't, that's when somebody can really do their best work. It's kind of like why people on the internet, when they have fake accounts, anonymous accounts, they'll say really dirty, outlandish shit on the internet because they're anonymous and they can actually like say what they feel. So in that same way, when I first started, I wore a mask. I changed my name. I removed. You can't find my real name on the internet anymore. It doesn't exist. You know what I mean? So it's like I
Hmm,
made it to the point where like the people that knew me as Harmon most likely wouldn't know that I was doing this for a long time, and that kind of gave me the freedom to go through my phase of sucking and being self-conscious with my music because at least nobody needed to know who I was at the time. And then once I started getting to a point where like I believed in myself more, I started being more open about who I was in my face and everything.
interesting.
Yeah, it's like a
So you
yeah.
feel completely like oh, actually, before I even ask that question, what ego death, you want to explain what that means to
Yeah.
the audience?
Ego death is essentially you have three parts in your mind, right? You got the id, ego, and the superego. The ego is the part of your brain that is entitled, that believes that it deserves something from the world. It believes that it's like God. Like I don't know how the best way to explain ego. Let me just search up a fucking definition. Here, that's the best way because I want to explain this the best way possible. Because basically, on ego, someone's ego is their sense of their own worth. For example, if someone has a large ego, they think they're very important and valuable. They had a massive ego. Never would he admit he was wrong. So this is something I dealt with for a long time. Is my biggest downfall was I had a really big ego, and I always felt like I was better than everybody around me, and that like my word was the only word and everybody else was wrong, right? And so I finally went through this phase of ego death where it's like I killed that sense of self that I thought I was. I stopped getting haircuts. I stopped I stopped trying to buy designer clothes. I stopped trying to like. I started taking the bus. I stopped driving my BMW. I stopped doing a lot of shit that like made me feel like I was somebody in the world. That made me feel like I was better than people. And once I did that, like I was able to humble myself to a point where I realized that like we're all equal, bro, and like nobody's better than anybody else. And ego death is essentially coming to a point where like you essentially just like murder your sense of self. Like you murder who you thought you were, and you create like a blank slate to work from. And that's what I was trying to explain earlier when I said that like Harmon is kind of dead now. Is the sense of the sense of worth and identity that I had tied with Harmon, he's gone because Harmon was an egotistical piece of shit, and all he cared about was showing off what he could fucking do and his money and his cars and flashing it in his friend's face so he could like feel like he's better than them. And Boost isn't that anymore. So that's where my ego death comes from, is like essentially murdering that person that you thought you were, that was so big and mighty, and like kind of realizing that you ain't so fucking special. And when you finally realize that you're nothing fucking special, that's when the true work begins, because that's when you can truly look yourself in the mirror and face the reality of what it is and stop lying to yourself with the ego trying to make shit feel better when in reality everything's gone to shit and you need to get back to work. It's basically essentially it's facing yourself at the hardest level. It's chasing it's seeing your skeletons, bro. If you want to really talk about it, you know what I mean? That's what seeing your skeletons is, you know? It's like
N- Nice plug there, by the way.
hey, bro, it
Just
just
use the
fits like that.
whole title.
I told you I speak like a philosopher.
Yeah. So, in terms of seeing your skeletons, what are some things that you feel genuinely afraid to not share? Because you're fairly open, but
That's
what
the
are some
thing.
insecurities that you still have?
I don't have any more left, bro. I've kind of let it all out. Yeah, skeletons. I put it all in my music, bro. I don't know how to explain it. Like you basically, I've told you a lot about my skeletons and my demons and my addictions, and the only other, I guess, skeletons you could say is like my lack of like self worth, which I'm working on. Um, when I when I did the ego death, thing, I kind of took it a bit too far in the sense that I always struggled with my self worth anyways. So initially, when I had this huge ego, it was more just like me protecting myself from the fact that I was scared to like be lesser than. So I had to make myself feel like I was better than, which leads back to into me being a bully when I was a kid for whatever reason. I used to get bullied and then feel better about it. I started being the same thing that did to me, and yeah. So like basically, my whole life essentially is just looking at my skeletons these days. This is why when we started the conversation today, bro, is like I'm good, but I'm not good because I'm still seeing these skeletons. I gotta work through them, until they're fully done. It's like a constant battle.
So when you're in those thoughts and in that darkness, do you really feel those dark moments? Do you really feel the moments when you can see your mother being abused and her head's being slammed into a table or
Yeah,
something,
man, I
and you
cry.
have to witness that?
Sometimes I cry about it. I cry about a lot of shit. Just look thinking about the past can be really sad sometimes.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with
Is it recurring for you? Is this like you're always thinking about these dark moments, or do you find that you escape from them sometimes?
um when I go on when I'm like really focused on my mission and I'm focused and I'm doing everything right, going to the gym and I'm sober and I'm not smoking and I'm just doing music, like it's not bad actually. When I'm sober, I have to face it a lot more in the beginning because essentially what I'm doing is escaping from the things I don't want to face, my skeletons. When I'm smoking weed, bro, it's like I'm trying to escape my demons, like I'm not trying to think about the shit. But then, um, yeah,
Would you like to, and this is kind of bias on my part because I have a certain belief of the way I would like the world to be. Would you like it so that you could speak about stuff like this with anybody at any time? Would you like to be more open with the people that you meet from day to day? Or
I've already started, bro. I've actually been using my life story as a way to motivate people to like fight back against their own skeletons and their own demons. Like I'm very open about everything in my life and anything. Like I am an open book now. Like I used to be a big liar and a big capper, and I used to like say shit that wasn't true to sound cool. And now, bro, like I don't. I'd rather just the best way to like help people is to like show them that you know how they feel and that if I can do it, you can do it too. So genuinely, after I moved away from my toxic family and I'm at the point where like I used to be scared to speak up about shit because I was worried about what they would say. Now I'm at a point where like I'm fearless and I'm genuinely not as scared to die over this anymore either. Like if my father decided he wants to kill me over this shit, like I'm ready to go. I'm not I'm not anything anymore. I want my life to literally just be about like just leaving a fucking positive message and just making the world a better place, whether it's just through positive vibes through my music or some of the words I say to people, whatever it is. As long as I can help the world in a positive way and like take care of my family along the way, then that's all that matters.
you have no idea how jealous I am that you're able to not only come to this point but fully speak on these things. There's some things that I want to talk about so badly, but I'm afraid that if I do, the repercussions of them hearing these things and then coming to me afterwards, it would tear my life apart. And
You gotta.
it's
Sorry, go ahead, keep talking. My bad.
yeah, I was just gonna say that it's something that I've debated and I've thought like, okay, well maybe when they pass away I'll be able to talk about these things and not be as afraid. But you
I have
know
a
what,
question for you. Why do you
like
think
how
that
we,
they deserve?
you know,
Why do you think that these people that did you wrong in your life deserve the deserve the fact that they get to live their lives without anybody knowing what they did? Why do you think they deserve that?
you mind if I take a second
Yeah,
to that?
I'm hitting you in a serious spot now. I'm sorry. Because it's like they didn't feel bad for you, so why do you feel bad for them now?
Part of it is I'm trying to I'm looking at their social dynamic and I guess I'm trying to feel compassion because I know they are keeping up faces as to who they are. And I feel like if I remove those faces, they will not know how to cope with it. Yes, they've done things that have affected me and carried it my whole life. And it's only recently that I've started pulling myself out of everything and understanding the toxic nature of some people. But I I'm I'm too close to them right now. Maybe that's it. I think maybe it feels like if I say exactly what I want to say, that it's going to cause so many problems and they're going to come to me about me ruining their
So more, it's
lives.
not it's
And
it's not about that you're really showing them remorse. More so that you're playing the art of war in the sense that you know that right now is not the right moment to speak on it because it would be more of a problem for you than it would for them, essentially.
yeah, I feel like it would
Because I know
be a
I know
huge
what you're trying to
issue.
say is like trying to do this when you're kind of like in the same vicinity as people. It doesn't work because yeah, there's no escape. Like you like it's talking about escapism. Like you know what I mean. Like if you live like when I was living with my dad, like yeah, like if I was like going around saying that shit, he would have made my life a hell at home. You know what I mean?
Do you think that someday you'll go back
No.
to see it?
I
No.
think maybe one day we can make amends, but it's gonna come with like a big apology from him admitting everything he ever did in his life. And if he can't do that, then it's better we just don't. You know, if you don't have the respect to come clean and just admit that you're wrong or whatever, then I don't. I've forgave him, like I've forgiven him for myself, but I can't forget, and I can't, and he doesn't deserve another. Well, see, that's I'm actually like trying to work past that. I think everybody can be redeemed, but there's something about narcissists and people pleasers. Like there's something about pure souls, bro. They attract these like demonic spirits into their life, and unfortunately, a lot of us can sometimes be born into demonic families. And what it comes down to is these families, like well, not even family, but these people, they can sense that you're such a fucking pure-hearted, like good person that's like deep down that they know how easy it is to manipulate you because they can just play on your fucking heartstrings and get whatever they want. There's evil people in the world too, and there's good people. And the thing is, I'm at a point right now where I'm willing to use my darkness to fight darkness, and I'm willing to use my light to help the light. I'm willing to be a
Yeah.
villain if it means for the greater good of everybody. I don't mind if I have to be that guy, you know.
Interesting.
But
Um,
yeah, I agree. Like if you're too close to people, then it's hard for you to speak up on it. But I do believe that when the right time comes, you will speak on it. And I don't think that you're scared to, and I think you're strong enough, 100% to do it. Like I know you, bro. I know you can.
have you ever come close to suicide?
Multiple times. Never.
Could you tell me a bit about that?
Man, there's not much to say. Just sometimes you're at your weakest moment in life, and everything's going wrong, and sometimes see the thing is like in a lot of ways I'm not even supposed to be here. Like in a lot of ways, like the truth of the matter is my mom's life would be a lot better if I was never born. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because the thing is, me being
I don't think.
born is what led her to staying with my father for 25 years or to 23 years. So essentially, if I was never born, um, she would have been living a different life, and it might have been better. So
You mind if I say something
yeah,
here? I could not imagine what it would be like to not grow up with you. So
bro,
that's kind of hard for me to hear, actually.
bro,
I
you're like
think,
my real life brother. Like we don't got blood, bro, but I just want you to know, no matter till the day I die, bro, you'll always be my brother.
yeah.
Not like trust me, bro. You kept me, you kept me like you don't even know this, bro, but you kept me alive a lot of times than you know. Just being there, just
Okay.
being there for me.
I'm trying not to cry.
Same here, bro.
Right.
It's okay, man. The thing is, this is a long time coming. This conversation with us,
Well, I think here's what I think about you, if you mind if I talk about
okay, bro.
you and tell you what I think you are and the person that you've been over the years, in case you had any doubt. So, spent my time in complete isolation from everybody. When shit went down with me, I couldn't even fathom trying to build proper relationships
Yeah,
because, as you know, everything was fucked, right?
yeah,
Nothing made
I can relate.
sense. And to be honest, I always thought about you, and I was like, man, like I wish I could be there for Harmon because Harmon's always been so good to me, bro. Like I remember how we would go out
You know, I
and
still think
then,
about that
you
day
know,
that those guys hit you from behind and I didn't help you. I still think about why I didn't help you.
it was a quick situation, right?
No, but
It's not really like
back
we
then,
could
yeah,
react.
we were weak back then. We weren't the people we are now. But yeah, keep going, bro. Keep
Yeah.
going. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. That's I'm glad to know that that memory's in your head.
Yeah, bro.
I remember NC laughing,
I never forget. You got your revenge when that
but
dude fucking pressed me in the fucking park and your ass ran. You got your revenge.
yeah. Actually, I was gonna bring that up, bro.
Yeah, fucking good times,
Um,
bro. Not
so
essentially,
like
but
we it was good because to me
memories.
it really it made me admire you like so much more. So essentially, we'd gone to this park just to swing on the swing sets when we were way too old. We were in grade 10. It's like why are we on swing sets? I mean, I'll probably still go on the swings now and then, even though I'm 25. But anyway, let's get to topic here. We're chilling, and then some random guy shows up, and he's like, I don't like the way y'all are looking at me. And of course, nobody's looking at this dumbass, but he's walking over to us, and I am scared as shit. So I begin to hide underneath the jungle gym. And Harmon, the freaking alpha leader, walks up. He's like, yo. And essentially, what happens is this guy starts threatening our lives, but Harmon sticks up for himself. And I remember that day being like, holy shit, this guy's got some balls. I don't
I
think
was
I ever
scared for
said
my
that
life,
to
by
you,
the
but I
way.
was like, you
I
were
was scared, bro.
holy
He was picking
shit.
up his shirt like he had a weapon or something. He had gold teeth. Back then, we never met. Like we never met like a real fucking hood rat like that before.
Yeah, first time. But you what I think about you when I think about who you are, I think that you're very loyal, and I think that with your close friends, you treat them extremely well. That's why I felt so guilty about reaching out to you even when I was in my terrible moments because I'm like this guy's like he's such a good guy. He's been so great to me, and like I don't want to
You know, it's crazy. I always
I don't
felt
want to
like
like
I was
infect
letting y'all
you.
down.
Really,
I always thought
that's
that I
crazy.
was not being the best deal. The thing is, like, I had my moments. You know, I used to. I had. The thing is, I think you, like, with everything going on at home, I had lash out moments.
You did, but I felt like I understood them. So I was never upset with you, really. We only argued over video games,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah. Me and you, bro. Like, you my best friend, bro. Always will be. Oh, shit. Like new friends
Yeah.
come and go. They always gonna be. There's always gonna be more best friends, but you the OG. You know what I mean?
Um, in regards to the future of Boost, of Harmon, and where you think you're going, you feel like you're on the right path right now? I mean, other than the weed thing, do you feel like everything's going the way that you
Yeah, I don't.
planned? Or do you,
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I don't think my life has ever been any better. Like even though I'm unemployed right now, I am on disability, but I'm looking for like a job on the side just because I mean it would help with my music shit, just being able to like have more income to invest into it. Um, but like overall, bro, I'm pretty happy. Like I can't complain. I mean, the thing is like a lot of the lessons I learned in my life couldn't learn in school. There's a lot of shit that I like. The thing is, the craziest part about it all, man, is I wouldn't want it any other way. Like I'm glad everything went down the way it did. Everything in my life, every moment, every dark moment, every all of it, bro. I'm grateful for it all at this moment, bro, because it all led me to this moment of like who I am to this day. Is like it all like pain is growth, man. Like suffering is growth. Like in life, like the only thing you have is pain and suffering. The only choice you really have at the end of the day is the type of pain and suffering you want. Is either you suffer the pain of today and go after your fucking dreams, or you suffer the pain of tomorrow and you live in regret.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Like, yeah, like the weed thing is I'm being hard on myself about it now is because my life has never been better. It's like usually I don't turn my life around until I'm at my lowest moments, right? And it's like right now, like I have an opportunity to like turn shit around while it's still going good, and I don't need to wait for it to go back down again. So that's the thing is like
See,
I want to like really take the momentum I have right now and like double down on it because it's like I have all these opportunities and it's like I'm smoking them away with you know what I mean? And I could be doing so much more. It's actually like, bro, life has never been better for the both of us. Like we never been more accomplished. We never had like we're in the best shape. I mean, I'm not in the best shape of my life right now, but I was. I still can. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm still in that vicinity. Like you know what I mean? Like when you're not like in the best shape of your life, but you're like like one good month away from like you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's like I'm at that point where like it's like if I just like if I just focus right now, it's like by the end of the year, like we don't need to wait for New Year, new me. We'll go into the new year already set up. You know?
see.
So
So as far as I know at this moment, like you're not really scared about sharing anything with anyone. You're like,
nah, man.
whatever I have about me is just open. Um, do you feel like if you were to speak to a stranger that you could be this open, or do you feel like
Yeah, I
because
think
it's
I
me
could.
and you know me that
I've
it's
the thing is I've been open like this with people in the past, and I always will be because like, bro, you just gotta be transparent with people. You gotta be honest, man. At the end of the day, the only thing that we have is like truth. Truth is all that matters. And if you living, and like even just not telling people things because you're scared of how they'll judge you is living in a lie.
yeah,
So the thing is, like, if you're gonna judge me, if my future wife is gonna judge me because of my past, then like she just wasn't my future wife or whatever. If like the people that because the thing is the people that you want to help will be inspired, and the people that want to hate are gonna hate, and you can't really control who's gonna do what. You gotta just focus on the people that focus on you.
damn, you grew a lot, eh? You got a big brain on you now.
I told you I'm a philosopher now, bro.
But
I got the
spe-
philosopher's stone, bro.
speaking of philosophy, I did want to bring up a text to read to
Do it.
you, and I wanted to explain something about it.
I might know it already. Let's hear it.
Um, it's from the story The Allegory of the Cave. Have you heard of
No,
it?
maybe not. Let's hear it.
So there's this person named Socrates, and
Okay, I know
Socrates
Socrates.
says, yep, he says, and now I said, let me show you in a figure how far our nature is enlightened or unenlightened. Behold, human beings living in an underground den, which has a mouth open towards the light and reaching all along the den. Here they have been from childhood, and have their legs and necks chained, so that they cannot move, and they can only see before them. So essentially, in this story, there is a man or person or boy in this cave who leaves. Now, everyone else in this cave can't look behind them, so they don't know about the outside world. They don't know about the sun. They don't know what real things are. But in that cave, there's people casting shadows on the wall, making puppets. And these puppets are essentially what the world is. So they'll show you what a cow looks like by using their hands. They'll be like, oh, look, this is a cow. But the guy on the outside, he's like, no, 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 I've seen what a cow actually looks like. And he goes back to the cave and he tries to tell everyone, like, hey, I I saw what this actually is. You guys got to come out. You guys got to, get your chains off. But they're like, no, no, that's not real. And essentially, what the whole story is trying to tell us, right, is it's about education and knowledge. And the people who are chained up, forced to look forward, who never were able to kind of escape that cave to find new knowledge, they were never able to grow, right? So, what I think, your story and a lot of stories is that you had a perception of the world and you could see things in your one way, and then eventually you escape that cave,
Yeah.
where other people might still be, and they might still be looking forward, and they don't know that there's another reality, there's another vision for them. And maybe that's what you meant when you were talking about your father not being able to deal with his trauma and not being able to, see life in a different light.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually know this story, bro. I seen this picture. It's like a picture of there's like a picture too, right? And this picture, like these guys are in the cave, and there's one, and like they're too scared to like come out of the cave. I've seen this like metaphor, not the actual story, but yeah, yeah, and like the cave is like a metaphor for your brain type shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about how we educate ourselves.
yeah, bro. It's kind of like the world right now is like a lot of people are just like they're still in the cave, and like this shit goes really deep, bro. Like we'll talk in private more, but like yeah, like the nature of reality is crazy.
Do you have any questions for me? You could ask me anything. I have a couple questions that I feel like I'm gonna still ask you, but do you have anything that you'd like to ask me at this
How's
moment in time?
how's it been, man? Last 5 years. Like, what do you like? What was your journey
Last,
like? Like, tell me a bit about your story. I don't know if you ever told anybody on the podcast.
I spoke a bit about it on the first episode, but I guess I can add
Just
and
like add in
explain
like
a few more things.
after I left to Winnipeg. Like, how was it up until now? Cause that's the main gap for us.
Yeah. So you left Winnipeg, and things happened with my family, like, and things started changing.
I'm gonna assume
And
like kind of the same shit.
yeah, things were, and me and my brother weren't getting along because, and here's what I think. I think that
But
we had experienced this trauma, but like he didn't know how to express it, and then I didn't. And I think that maybe we both picked up unhealthy ways of dealing with it. He probably doesn't see it that way because he's a very disagreeable person. But I see it as, my best friend's gone, and now I have to deal with all this shit. Who do I talk to? So in high school, that's when I met Lee. That's when I met everyone else. And I remember it was a very sad day when you left and I saw you packing up.
bro, you know what's
I was
crazy?
like,
Like
my goodness.
all along, I never ever like felt like I was felt like you like I never felt like I never thought you cared that much. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I never, well, I'm not really the type to
Yeah,
always say these
you
things.
always been like that, bro. You have your own skeletons
Yeah,
to deal with, my guy. I know
for sure.
that. Yours are different. Yours are
And,
like more mentals.
well, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I think that whereas you've been able to really expand yourself, for me, I took shit so hard that I constantly just self isolated and I never really put myself out to do anything. But anyways, you left, and then I spent some years in high school trying to reinvent myself, trying to develop into someone who's more confident, right? And sometimes I would talk to you, and then you'd be like, "Oh, wow, you're doing so well, Jaden," whatever, and I'm like, "Yo, like that's not even close." Like I was dealing with constant anxiety and just not being able to sleep and just being depressed. And I remember asking my family, like, "Hey, like, can I see a therapist or something at some point?" And they're like, "No, no, no, you're fine. Like everyone goes through what you're going through." And
Yeah, same thing.
I really wish that I was able to go
Yeah,
to see one because I didn't know how like messed up I was. I went to school trying to get into med school because I just wanted them to be happy.
yeah,
And I failed at doing that. And then for a year when I was in school, I nearly dropped out. Even though before I was a high grades, I was just so upset with myself. I was upset that other students were outperforming me. For this period of time, I barely talked to you, Lee, or anyone else because I was like, I should just focus on school, right? I prioritize that over friendships and relationships and just grinding. And then when you would see like a photo of me like after lifting, it's like, yo, you got so lean or whatever. It's like I didn't really give that much of a shit,
yeah,
right? I just thought it was cool to share, and I didn't know how to just say, hey man, can I talk to you about my life sucking,
yeah,
right? I I couldn't talk to women for the longest time because um, seeing what I saw in my life, it was very hard for me to not think that I was going to bring my trauma and my pain, and I was going to be abusive, and I was going to hurt. I thought I was going to hurt someone. I'll be honest. I thought that if I got into a relationship, that I was going to physically and emotionally damage them. So any girl that liked me, there was a couple really great girls that I met, and I could never ever. I was like, I'm a monster, you
yeah.
know,
I can feel that. I
like
understand how you feel, bro.
so. I just said, you know what, I'm gonna just stay away. I'm too fucked for this, right?
We really be on some gut
Um,
shit, bro.
yeah,
I've been reading Berserker lately, bro. Like I've been actually reading manga for the first time. Yeah.
And sometimes I would think about you, and I thought there's a lot of thoughts that I had about you in that time. One was like I saw how much you were changing when you left, and sometimes when I talked to you, I was like, this guy talks different now. He walks, he does all this stuff different. I remember it scared me a little bit because I was like, who is that guy? You know, if Harmon's speaking all this slang or whatever, um, and
I don't speak
it
like
was
that
very
anymore.
different. So yeah, you're a little bit different now. But at that point, I was like, I kind of want to reach out to him, but I'm like, do I even still have my old friend there? It's like, well, I don't know.
I don't think
Um,
you did for a while, bro.
so
I don't think I was there. I think you might have been right.
mm,
You know.
well, I don't know if that's true. I never really tried,
Yeah.
right? I developed this habit of making assumptions and letting those assumptions determine my actions. Like I had a thought about. I remember this one day, Chris said something to me, it pissed me off, and I said, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah,
Like
I remember
because he
you just
said
said.
this thing, he must really.
Yeah, I remember.
I was like, he must hate me because he said this thing, and then I just stopped talking to him for a long time. But you know, everyone gets into arguments with Chris. Shout out if you're watching if you're
Chris, if
watching
you're
this,
watching
Chris.
this, fuck you.
Okay, chill.
And
Um,
unblock me. Come air it out in DMs like a real man.
yeah, you should get him on the
Yeah,
podcast
you
actually.
should.
Um, so yeah, I spent the past couple of years just thinking, and I just had you in my head, you, Chris, Lee, and kept thinking about what it would be like to finally build relationships with people. And I kept feeling that if I wasn't succeeding at something, that I shouldn't have relationships. If I'm not at the top of my game doing the best possible, why the fuck am I even texting anybody right now
Yeah.
when I have to grind on something? And it didn't lead to anything. I just kept breaking down. Fast forward to now, I had a big revelation in the past few days of meeting a girl, losing my shit, and then I was like, wait, I gotta start actually talking to people because I don't even know who I really am just yet. Um, and yeah, I guess that's a small cliff notes. I don't know if it's everything that you wanted to know. Is there anything in specific you wanted to know about me within those past few years?
No.
Because I can tell you, I didn't do well. Like
So you
career choices, job choices. I made a lot of mistakes.
no good man. So like wait. So you got caught up with this girl. When was how old were you when you got caught up with this girl?
Oh, there was two girls. So
How old were you?
I don't know if you know this.
So let's go
I
for
the
like let's
first
say
date I
we're
ever went
past like
on
18 shape shit. Like say around after 18, you went to school, you grinded for a few years. How long did you do that part? Like, how old were you when you like came out of that?
and tried to
Yeah,
date.
like when does this first girl
Uh,
start? How old are you?
23.
23.
I was
Okay, so up
23.
until 23, all you did was grind.
That's all I tried to do. Yeah,
So you just did
and
you're
there was
working
girls
and
who liked me,
you're
but
grinding the kinesiology. Then once you did that, you got into personal training type shit.
oh, I started personal training when I was 17. Actually,
What the fuck,
yeah,
bro? Like you gotta help me get
because
like I'm trying to get a personal training job or something, but it's like it's hard.
if you take like one of the courses for it, and we're getting a bit off
Oh yeah,
topic,
let's go back.
but if you take no, it's okay, it's okay. I'll explain it
No. We can talk about it
here.
later.
Real
We can
quick.
talk about it
There's
later.
some,
Long story
yeah,
short, yeah. Anyways,
yep. Sorry, where the heck was I? Can you remind me?
your first girl after the
Oh yeah, yeah. I met her and she seemed okay. I was the healthiest that I'd ever been. So essentially, I developed this idea that okay, because I'm now healthy and because my I'm getting this raise and I'm getting this job, that now it is time for me to, I'm like a fucking robot, right?
yeah. Now
I
it is time
I've
for me
now
to
achieved
get in a relationship, get children,
exactly, right?
fornication.
And yo, I wanted to smash, but it never happened. But
Goddamn.
anyway,
Okay.
yeah, I was horny, bro.
Why didn't you
I was
smash?
imagine bro, because I'm just not I don't know, maybe I didn't have what she wanted. She asked me to come over to her place one night and then I just said, "Yeah, but I got to go to bed." So I said, "Fuck that."
Oh,
I was like, "I got to
I
sleep."
mean, how
But
serious was it?
anyhow,
Alright, keep talking about it.
It's
Yeah, keep going.
I don't know if it was serious because we had only known each other for like few months, and she was trying to decide if she wanted to be serious or not, but I think she was in love with someone else, which was something that I would learn like way later.
Mhm.
And then she just called me this one night. Like everything seemed fine. She kept telling me, "Oh man, I love this gift you got me, and that date was so this and this was so," and she was, buttering me up. And then one day she just kind of, "Oh yeah, I'm in tears right now and I'm crying and like, I'm sorry to do this to you." Kind of came out of nowhere in my head, but I reflexively I started thinking about all the things I was doing. I was just trying to be nice. I
You being a
wasn't
nice guy?
necessarily assertive, or I don't know if it's a nice guy, but I was just trying to do everything to make her
Yeah,
happy instead of
you're
myself.
the thing. I mean, I've done this a lot in my past with girls too. It's trying to please. It's a mother son relationship showing itself in a relationship when you get older.
Yeah,
Trying to like please the
and
female.
that's essentially what happened. She left, and then I had probably one of the biggest mental breakdowns of my life, where I couldn't sleep, eat, or do anything the same. And I thought some people were like, "Oh, like something like this only takes like a month or whatever.
Nah,
It's
the
something you
first heartbreak,
recover."
especially if you like really had feelings for the girl, like that shit'll last. Every boy needs to be. I believe every boy needs his heart broken to become a man. Type shit. Like one time.
Yeah, it was a year of recovery for me, and I didn't like everything in my life was messed up. I had a new job that was paying well, and
Yeah, but you can't even
I
focus on
showed
your
up
job.
late a few
Yeah.
times. Nope, everything felt
Yo.
terrible. And then the next girl that I met pretty recently, that's where I started learning. Okay, I need to get in control of who I am. Was like we went on a date. It was a first date, and I was so clingy because I just wanted her to not fucking leave.
Yeah, yeah,
And I just really, because for me particularly, I've spent so much time alone, starved of like physical intimacy
yeah.
and like mental
Mhm.
intimacy because I just isolate all the time,
Yeah.
right? That when I met her, um, I just really wanted everything to work out. But I also was very focused on pleasing her. So when she's like, "Oh, I want to just do sexual stuff," I was like, "Okay, let's make sure that she gets exactly what she wants so that she won't leave." And then the moment for me that changed was when she told me, like, "I don't think I'm ready for physical intimacy." I got very emotional about that because I was like, "Yo, I don't even know if I'm ready for that either." Right? Because I remember when she held my, it was the first time I felt safe like in years.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, wow, that was a different feeling for me, and I just wanted that again. And after she said that, I was like, yo, she had mentioned to me during the date the trauma and the pain and all this shit that she'd gone through. And bro, I was so focused on getting what I wanted that I didn't even spend the time to talk to her about that. And then when I realized that's what I did, I felt absolutely terrible. It's not like I wanted her to be mine or whatever. It's just like I just desperately wanted to say how sorry I was for ignoring her trauma, ignoring her pain. And I thought that if I talked to her about those things that I wouldn't get sex and I wouldn't get intimacy from her, because then she's going to be like, I only want something short term. I don't want to talk about trauma. But looking back, I wish I had just been myself and done what I wanted to do, which was talk to her about those things, regardless of what she thinks of me, because I'm genuinely interested in knowing how she felt and what her pain
So
was.
like the first time you were over pleasing, and the second time you tried to be less of that type,
Yeah,
or like more
yeah,
like
it was extremes of
yeah,
both.
extremes of both. Like the first time you're super focused on like the emotional part, and then the second time you're super focused on the physical part.
Yep.
Nah,
But now I feel like I'm a lot more compassionate, I-
nah, man.
and I want to be able to see when somebody's hurting.
Yeah, at the same time, man. Like when you're first meeting people, like kind of just like just go by, just go by the feel, just go by the vibe. Don't do too much.
Yeah, no, she was very outwardly, physical.
Cause like I'm the
Um,
opposite. Whereas you realized you were a monster, right? I low key didn't realize how big of a monster I was for too long. You know what I mean? And I've heard a lot of people like there's a trail like bro, I have a closet full of skeletons and hearts that I've taken. You know what I mean? I've broken a lot of hearts. I've done a lot of fucked up shit. So it's like I'm on the other side where like I think you've done the right thing, brother, in the sense where like you at least, you know, were conscious enough to like realize. For me, it was like years of like just abusing people mentally before I realized what I'd become type shit, you know.
Have you thought about reaching out to them
Bro,
and saying anything?
I've tried a few times to a few different girls, but a lot of them they don't want nothing to do with me, you know what I mean? It's like they block me fully type shit. I mean, I wish I could, but you know, it is because the thing is they'll never know who I am now. I don't think they want to know me anymore, anyways. But I do it a lot for like all the people. Like that's the thing, man. These skeletons are motivation. Like in a lot of ways, you gotta pay for your dues and all the damage you've done to people. At least
Yeah.
for me, that's why I can respect you, bro, because you were conscious enough to face your shit. You didn't escape from it. You didn't escape from your reality. You were able to at least face it and be conscious enough that you knew that you had these issues. Whereas me, I was escaping with marijuana for years so that I could escape the feeling of having those problems. And while numbing that, I was like becoming a bigger monster in the process.
I mean, I spent time with escapism too, right? Like I had a massive porn addiction because I was too afraid of actual contact. I had huge video game addiction, and I would waste tons of time on like tons and tons. And like while I know a lot of the like over the years you had some respect for me and all that, sometimes I would just hate myself because I'm like, yo, like I want to be inspiring to my buddy, and like I'm here like still struggling with all these addictions and not being able to pull myself
Bro,
away.
just so you know,
And
you've been inspiring me for years. Like ever since I left and I saw you like make that first physical transformation from chubby short Jaden to like the new Jaden, like I've ever since then I've always looked up to you, bro. Don't ever feel like you didn't inspire anybody. You've inspired a lot of people without realizing it. A lot of people, like, trust me, you don't even realize how people look at you, bro. You're doing great, and you're gonna help a lot more people as in the future. Like, just keep going.
I feel like I've asked you a lot of the questions that I want to ask. I want to ask you some dumb, silly
Go
shit
ahead,
now.
bro.
What's the weirdest thing that you beat your meat to?
Shit, hentai.
On God, bro. No, but like you gotta get specific. What's
Alright,
that
alright,
weird shit, bro?
alright. Shit. Shit.
Because I already know in the back of my I was a freak, bro.
Yeah, I know. I seen your PSP back in the day. I know.
Yo, shut up, bro. Can't be exposing me just yet.
You can edit that out. But
Nah, it's all going.
alright. Fuck. I don't know. It was like probably like. Oh yeah, it was like Naruto. Like I would like go into specific like characters that I liked, and I'd find them naked. Like Yoruichi,
I'm sorry.
Rangiku, fucking, fucking, what's her name? Lady Tsunade? Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yo.
Nah, but
Yeah, that's probably
that's
the weirdest one.
that's the only thing that freak you with, bro. Damn, bro. I see. I'm about to make you scared of me.
No,
For
there's
real.
probably some shit I'm holding back yet. Not want to hear what you say first.
Nah, bro. Yo, I remember. Yo, when it got really bad, bro. I remember I stumbled upon this video, and like the way I saw it, I was just like, yo, the better the animation is for the porn, bro, the better I can jack off. And like, I was
Oh,
like, yo,
you're
if
watching
that's
that
animation
pretty
is
real
good,
shit. Yeah, I know what you're
I'm
talking. I used to watch those too. Yo, what was her name? She was from Final Fantasy. What was her name? Fucking Tifa or some shit?
Tifa
Yeah, she
Lockhart.
had the
Oh my
fucking 3D
god.
version of her, bro. That shit. The titty animation was crazy.
Oh no. But yo, what ended up happening was like bro, I found like this furry shit, bro. Bro, there's
Furry shit.
yo, like all I
Bro was
for
watching Sonic
first I
Boom.
yo, yo, let me explain, bro. Bro, okay, so I saw like this photo of like this fat ass. I was like, yo, that's sick. And then I clicked it, and then it's like, wait a minute, yo, there's like some fur on that shit. And then like I watched this video of like these this human animal hybrids having sex. I was like, this animation is
Have you ever
crazy.
played
So
those
then
like hentai games, bro?
bro, I used to spend hours just. I was like, what happens
I
next? Or
didn't
like,
care what happened
or
next.
just
I was just
eating
trying to
my
get to the.
shit. Yo, too much of my life, bro. And like Don't even get me started on the amount of countless times I've tried to quit porn and like my withdrawal symptoms were wild, bro. Cause I'm just in my bed tossing and turning. It's like, oh my god, I need to see this guy put his fat dick inside. I was
Oh my
like, yo,
god.
why am I like looking for big dicks
Yeah.
to go inside another woman? It's like, what am I doing? Like, and then I'd have that moment. I was like, nah, but I need to jerk off though. Like, I'd go back to
Oh
it.
my god.
Oh,
That's
I know. Like, I'm glad that I'm away from that.
oh god, bro. When we were like kids, we used to do that shit 100%. When I was like peak peak weirdness is when I was peak weirdness.
Well,
Every
on
kid has that
God though,
moment when
on
he's a kid
God,
where he like searches up like grown woman without clothes on Google or something, or you search
because you're
like boobs.
curious. What's the weirdest thing that's happened to you during sex? Has anyone tried to like peg you and shove something up your ass?
Oh god.
Oh no.
No, not none of that. I'm trying to think. Weirdest thing. Uh, have you ever like mounted a bitch and like fucked her face like a fucking sex doll?
Sorry, one sec. No, I've only had sex with one girl.
Bro, I was in
Um,
that porn star shit, bro.
oh my god,
Yeah. I never did anything crazy.
freaking
Like the craziest was like getting like head when I'm like driving
yeah, that shit's crazy,
or like I've had like one or two threesomes, but like they weren't anything crazy. They were with like the stripper.
bro. She's down there while you're driving. She's like, I hope you don't crash.
Bro.
You know, and
Yeah, it's
you're
pretty
like,
fucking
don't
it's
crash.
fucking bro. It's a different type of feeling. Fuck. You gotta have tinted windows in the car though.
Oh boy.
But yeah, that's about it. What about you?
For me,
How
bro,
was it,
nothing.
bro? How was it? Cause shit, for years I've been waiting for this moment to hear this nigga lost. This nigga fucking did it. This nigga did the deed.
Bro, I first of all, this shit was so weird. Shout out to the girl who actually took a chance on this dumbass, bro. But
Nigga,
like, I remember I got yeah,
go.
yo, I got there to meet her, bro, and like I remember I just shaved my balls or whatever because I'm like trying to be like less
So
hairy,
was this like a
and
hookup?
it's dark outside.
This was like a confirmed hookup? Like
It was just a hookup, bro. There's no relationship
yeah.
attached, and like I get in the yo, oh my god, you're making me say this. I get in the car, and then I'm like, so what do you want to do? We're there next, right? But
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, you want to like talk a little bit or something, and then bro, she looks at me. She's like, nah, I'm just trying to fuck. Like, so I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess we should get to that. And then
Jumping in those situations.
she goes to her car. Yo, she turns up the music in the car. I was like, yo, I don't want to listen to any music, and she's like, nah. This you're gonna make it too awkward because she knew it was my first time,
Yeah.
and bro, I get her down and I was like, all right, so what do I do next? Bro, I'm asking her questions.
You only
Bro,
did it because
I'm just like,
you're good looking dude, bro. If it was any other reason, you would have dumped.
bro, probably because I was like,
Wait,
yo, like,
what did it
what
look
am I?
like?
And she's like, well, what she look like? Well, she look Guyanese.
Oh, bet. Okay.
And like,
Oh, bro, I miss
I
Guyanese.
was like, yo,
Off topic, anyways.
what else? Yo, chill.
Hey.
But I essentially was chilling, just looking at her, and she's like, okay, well, first you have to take off my bra, and I was like, oh, okay, I gotta do that. It's like,
Bro, you never
and
watched
then
porn
I
before?
tried
Why
to
were
say,
you thinking like that, bro? You just gotta do what you see in the videos. That's it.
bro,
But you
of
watched
course I
that crazy
watched it,
shit.
but
You
I'm like,
watched
I'm
too much.
probably
Yeah,
wrong.
I understand now. You watched hardcore.
So then I struggled taking off her bra for like what felt like an hour, bro. I was like, yo, I can't get it off. I'm sweating and shit because I'm fucking get up.
Was nervous.
She's like, okay, I'm gonna. She she's like, I'm gonna take it off, right? And then she begins to take it off, and I'm like, wow, that's nice.
Bro,
Next at me, she's like, are you gonna do something? And I was like,
what'd you do?
oh
What'd you
yeah,
do?
yeah,
You just
yeah,
touched on it. You did, right?
bro. Nah, I
Yeah,
was
you
like,
sucked.
yo, can I touch your tits? Like, she's like, you don't have to ask. and then we're already there, and then I'm trying to touch them, and like I don't know what I'm doing, and I had to ask before I did everything, which is the worst part about it.
Bro,
And
scared
then
of getting canceled in 2023.
I was like, yo, what if this goes viral right now? So yeah, I'm like, sucking on titties or whatever, and she's, oh, that's not bad or whatever. And I started like kissing her leg, and then she's like, "Are you gonna eat me out?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, I don't think so." Like, I think I was just playing with the idea.
No, because the
I
first
don't
time it's
know.
going down, because the thing is, you don't know what it's gonna taste like. It's a whole thing, and like, you know what I mean. And it's like that's where
I
you
was
pee
afraid I
from.
was gonna like, yeah, no, but I was afraid I might like lick the wrong way and like catch a glob of shit in my mouth. But anyways, but anyways,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we get
Wait,
past
did
the
y'all ever
preliminary
like
phase,
link
and
up again? Like, or did she just like never again?
nah, bro, I got ghosted
Oh
after
yeah, I was expecting
reasonably.
that.
But yo, like basically, I try to warm her up, and like I'm like doing the fingering thing,
Yeah.
and then she's like, oh, when are you gonna put it in? Because like, bro, I was doing it for as long as I
Damn,
could.
she
I was
didn't
like,
give you
I
a head.
must make her orgasm. No, she
Oh
did
no.
eventually, but like, I guess. But anyways, like,
So
I'm
rate
I'm
the
trying to
experience.
get her
Rate the.
turned
Oh wait,
on.
how was the
The
fucking part? How was the
experience,
fucking part? Did you struggle?
bro. I remember what she. First of
Because the
all, I
first time,
could
the
not
first time you
fit
did
it
it, bro,
in.
it's like it's awkward.
Yeah, I was like, how do I get this thing in
Oh
there?
yeah,
And then she just like
yeah. They
she had to put it in
yeah.
for me, and as she was putting in, she's like, if you liked everything before, this part's gonna feel so better. I remember when she fucking said that,
So
bro.
cringe.
And yo, and then she went down. I was like, yo, this ain't really feel like tight.
Oh yeah,
Like, this didn't feel that great. And then she's like doing her thing. I'm like, I guess this is kind of fun.
yeah.
But then she came off, and I was like, could you like suck me off? I always wanted to know what that felt like.
You actually
And
say
then she
that?
gets up. Yeah, I said that, bro. And then she gets up, and then she started doing it. I was like, yo, this shit right here. I was like, oh,
You're just like me,
oh,
bro.
you know.
You're just
I was
like
like,
me,
this
bro.
shit
You're
right
just like
here.
me.
My
That's the
eyes
best
rolling
part
back
for
and
me
shit.
too, bro.
And then yeah, and then she's like, yo, you really like this, don't you? I was like, yes, please don't stop. And then, yo, you know what she did to me, bro? You know
She
what she did to
stopped.
me that killed the vibe? Bro, she's like, oh, this is like a special treat. Like, I'll stop there. I was
Oh
like, you
yeah,
really,
yeah.
you
They
really
always do
like
that, bro.
this?
They always do that. Especially when they're like new,
Yo,
like when like you gotta yeah. It's always some like cocky
I
bitches that
needed
are like set like semi pretty and they think they're the shit. They always like be like, oh yeah, that was a treat. Fuck you, bitch. And they
that
do it
was a
on
treat.
purpose
I
because
was
they're
like,
playing games. They know what they're doing.
but yeah, that I was just super like imagine like a movie where like a 30-year-old loses his
Yeah, yeah.
virginity and all the awkward shit that could
Wait,
happen.
so did you
Like
did
just
you even
imagine
finish or no?
no, I didn't.
Oh
No, I did
no!
not. Yeah, no, and she apparently came twice, and I was like, that's
Wait, so
great.
like
I'm
how
not
long did y'all
judging.
do the deed for? Like an hour?
Nah, bro. Okay, so okay, let me be honest. So she nutted like second time, and I was like, I kind of lost my virginity. Like I'm good. Oh yeah, wait. Actually, this is probably why she ghosted me because she's like, oh no, I want to keep going until like you like get off. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's
I'm
probably
good.
why
She
she
wouldn't let me.
ghosted you because she probably thought that you didn't like it. Because she was talking it up so much and then you didn't fuck with it and then she was like, fuck this guy, dude.
She didn't want to give me the sucky sucky, and she also didn't
No,
want
that's
me to
fair,
kiss
bro.
her or
The thing
anything.
is, bro, if you made her like bust twice and she didn't give you like the thing is like if like at that point she gotta do it like if you like if you get a bitch off like they usually do it. She was just being a bitch about it.
Yeah. Well, I
I think
mean,
it's just cause like
I respect her decision.
honestly you probably just like turned her off a bit cause like it was like the way you were talking so she probably just was like basically like when you like want that type of thing you gotta like dominate the bitch for it. You know, basically put it in for put it in her fucking mouth and make. The thing is, the issue is you can't say that shit these days because you'll get canceled. But
Yo, chill, bro, chill.
okay, but yeah,
Don't cancel me.
no, you're good.
But yeah, no, I'm just joking. Like, say whatever you want, bro.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just
Um,
playing. As long as it's within consent, like girls have like consented to me like being rough, so like a lot of them like it that way. Usually, I'm pretty like quiet. Like Like my first time, bro. Like I acted like I knew what I was doing, basically, the whole time.
Yo, that's a smarter strategy than what I what I did, bro.
Bruh, bruh.
I was a
So
dumbass,
rate the whole experience. I guess it's like a 5 out of 10.
bro. Maybe less, cause like I didn't even
So,
not.
but you just
Actually,
like
you know what? That
you like the sucky sucky.
I did, bro. Actually, maybe sucky sucky is 5 points. Like,
Yeah.
let's be.
So yeah, like I used to have girls that were like designated for just that job.
Bro, really? Like that was like your thing. You're like, all
Like
right, bro,
they would
you
like
need to
there's
be
some
here.
like you got to find the right ones, but like a lot of like well actually not a lot, but like most girls like actually like doing it.
Mm.
It's like
Well,
complicated, but yeah. Anyways,
yeah, I can imagine.
anyways, I'm proud of you,
Is
bro.
there anything else that you feel like? Oh, thanks, man.
So
I
like
mean,
you
it
never.
just
So now you're looking for like so now you're like waiting for like a proper like relationship to like do it again, or you don't give a fuck, or
mm,
you're done with hookups now.
no, no hookup culture and like casual dating. I'm off that. Like I said, like ever since that first date, like it was big for me to kind of like see like how much pain like
Yeah.
could like and you know what I could be
Remember how
imagining it
much pain we
myself,
used to feel over girls that we never even talked to before, back in like high school
bro.
and
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. It could all be in my head, but I know that she had gone through some shit, and I just wish I paid more attention to that rather than just trying to satisfy a sexual need. Because you know, I feel like there's more to people
I feel like the
than
moment you
just
could have
that.
just like been straight up selfish, you didn't, and then the moments that you like when you're in that hookup, you should have just been selfish 100%.
Mm, I couldn't. It just hurt too much knowing that she was going through
Oh no, not
something.
that one.
Like
I'm
I
talking about
feel
the hookup.
really bad. Oh that? Oh yeah. Yeah, and that I definitely could have been more
Fuck.
whatever. But yo, I remember I
Funny.
didn't even dress nice that day or nothing. I was up all night texting her. I remember when she said, "Let's go hook up." I remember I said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Bro, I asked her like 3 times. She's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "Are we? Are you sure?"
That's
But anyways, you pulled an embarrassing story out of my ass, bro. You gotta have something embarrassing that's happened to you. You're just a freaking chat all the
no,
time.
no.
Is that what it is?
Embarrassing. Oh yeah, like when I was in high school, I crashed in front of my school drifting.
Nice.
Yeah, and then that was fun. What else? I got. I had one of my girlfriends. Like I got caught having sex in public like multiple times before, bro.
What the shit,
Cause like,
bro? That's
cause you just be in the
crazy.
parking lot, like, did you fuck the bitch in the parking lot or what was it? Were you in the car?
Who me?
You was in
Yes,
the
yeah,
car, right? Okay.
yeah.
So like,
Tinted windows
yeah,
though.
yeah. So like, yeah, like when you're doing that, like sometimes you just parked in the wrong parking lot, and like the security officer will just like fucking flash you, bro. Bright lights for flash you,
Oh
and like you
no.
just be like, yeah.
What does
Oh
the
yeah,
security
okay.
guard
I got a
do?
good story for you. One time there's just like hookup. This chick came over and like she was super down to hook up and shit, and like we were about to like get to it and shit, and then like oh yeah, like she was about to give me a hit or something, right? Or I was taking off my I forget what happened. Yeah, I was like just like I was taking off my clothes, bro, and then like I've been working out really hard. This was like when I was grinding really hard, and like I got this like have you ever had your ab cramp? Like bro, it feels like you're getting a heart attack, like a
Yeah,
really bad one where like you even when you stand straight it doesn't go away, and like
it feels like it's pulling.
yeah, it like pulls into your body. So like basically, I got a cramp like mid like while I'm naked, and like so like basically like my dick was hard, and then like because I got the cramp, like the shit went soft, right? So, like, now I'm standing there with the soft fucking. Now I'm standing there. Now I'm like, it's like I went from Super Saiyan 3 to like you know what I mean base form, and like fucking she's just sitting there looking at me like, what are you fucking doing? And I'm just standing there. I'm like, sorry, I got a cramp. So it took me a while to get rid of the cramp, and then I was like. And then like basically we tried to like she's gonna give me head or something and like I tried to sit down and then I got another cramp and then like I got even more like basically I went full limp by the time my cramps were finished and I was like yo I need you to like suck me off to get hard again and she's like alright and she was like I'm only doing this because you're hot. Other yeah, and
Bruh.
so yeah it was pretty like it was like 10 minutes of me just standing in front of her naked cramping. But
Shit, bro.
like it's different when like you know how it is like if you're like fully like you had sex now so it's like when you not soft like it's not that embarrassing because like you're not like you know what I mean but like when you're like soft it's like oh don't look at me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was definitely a interesting experience, especially like somebody else's hand who wasn't fucking mine was holding my
Oh,
dick. I remember I was
yep,
like, I gasped when she grabbed that shit. I was like, yo, I'm not the one controlling this. I was so
yeah. The
confused.
funny thing is, bro,
And she looked
you
at
could
me.
have been you if you wanted to, you could have been the biggest player. Like, you're a really good guy for that. Like, all y'all
Um,
listening, if you
I
ever
don't know if
listen
it's
to
good
this,
guy.
Jaden can take your bitch if he wants. He just doesn't. Y'all are lucky. Like, this motherfucker stayed in virginity just for y'all, so you could keep your girlfriend.
No, not even. I was just so insecure that even if
But the
girls
thing is,
liked
like, you
me,
didn't
I would,
realize, cause I used to
you
always
know,
chase women, but like, bro, when we go to the club back when I was still like chubby and shit, bro, girls would be like all over you, and you wouldn't even notice. Like, and I'd be trying to like get women, and those women that I'd be trying to get are like looking at yo dumb ass, and I'm like, fuck this nigga Jaden, bro.
bro.
And the whole time you didn't even
I
realize.
didn't. No, 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 I noticed one of them, but bro, I don't know if you
But
remember
you
what you
didn't.
did when we went
Oh
to the
no,
club.
yeah, I did it on purpose. I was trying to get bitches too, and your
You
dumbass was
remember?
taking all the bitches. I'm wrong for that. That situation was my fault. But the thing is, like, bro, you could like trust me, nigga. You underestimate yourself. I only like started getting into my good-looking era recently, but like,
Bro, I was dancing on the stage by myself, and you want to know why I was dancing by myself,
why?
Harmon? Because all of you guys were going around looking for women to freaking I don't know what you guys want to. You just wanted girls. So I have to dance by myself now, and I'm just trying to have a bit of fun, even though my friends have abandoned me. And guess what? Some girl walks up to me as I'm busting a move, and whose drunk ass walks up and fucks it all up and scares her away. I remember when you did that,
Yeah, you done the
I
thing
like
that day.
stopped dancing. I stopped dancing. I looked at you and I was like, "We gotta go home soon." Like I was
Remember we
upset.
drove home drunk that day too? I think that was that same day.
Yeah, okay.
Bro, that was the worst drive home,
D-
bro. I don't know how we made it.
we didn't drive home drunk, police and FBI, because we would have been under the influence and also way too
Yeah,
young,
if
and also
hypothetically we drove home drunk, bro, like so basically like hypothetically like I was falling asleep in the seat, bro. Like every 2 seconds, and these motherfuckers are
hypothetically,
poking me every 2 seconds, like, and the drive was like an hour or more too. Oh god.
hypothetically, hypothetically, don't drive underneath the influence.
bro, bro, and it was like we were supposed to sleep at Chris's house, but then that motherfucker had cockroaches and rats and shit on the ground, and it was like there was nowhere to actually sleep in his house. He didn't even show us his room till we got back. And we're just looking at his house like, bro, what is it, bro?
True.
Remember how small it was?
Um,
It's like how
yeah.
we couldn't
Do
sleep
do
there.
you feel like you feel like you've said everything that you want to say? Like you've expressed yourself entirely today,
Hell
or
yeah, man. Shit. Do you feel like
you
you
feel,
got everything off your chest?
I feel like there's still things that I'd like to talk to you about.
Bet.
But I think we should wrap up here. I think we got a lot of content out of the way,
Shit. How long we been recording?
and
It's
I'm
been
sick
like an hour and a half.
for like 2 hours, almost two.
Oh shit. Two and a half.
So yeah, thank you everyone who's here on our first ever interview. It's kind of all over the place, but I kind of liked being able to talk to my buddy here. If you're interested in following Harmon, where can they follow you, Harmon?
Instagram at Booster BOOST or you could just search me up on Instagram, Boost, and yeah. I mean, search me up on Spotify as Boost. You can like, yeah, whatever. It's no big deal, man. They'll find me one day.
True. I'll link to your Spotify in the
Yeah, that's
description.
perfect.
And yeah, thank you so much. If any of you want to be featured on an episode, you can email seeingyourskeleton@gmail.com. And if you have a story that you really want to open up about, talk, maybe laugh a little bit even, you can go ahead and do that. And thank you so much for listening. We will see you in the next episode. Bye.